Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another show of the science of farming. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I am Sister Rashida Muhammad.
And I'm Sister Melody Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah. As you join us today, family, please feel free to share this broadcast by sharing on via YouTube, by sharing via Facebook with others, so they too can benefit from what we are about to hear and learn today. Now, today we are joined by our special guest, Brother Sean Ali. Brother Sean has a company called Supreme Health and Wellness. They take a holistic approach to health coaching, focusing on the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, with the goal of empowering his clients to make sustainable changes that will improve their health and well-being. Now, he's also authored a few books, one of them being Say Be and It Is. Another one is The God Factor, Your Brain. He also has the Manual of Healing Herbal Elements and Understanding and Creating Herbal Healing, among others. Brother Sean will share with our audience at the end of the show how to purchase those books. And for right now, Brother Sean, we are very happy and excited to have you be a part of the show. Is there anything else you'd like for us to know about you?
I'm your brother. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I am your brother. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, to our audience, just to remind you that our goal on this show is to encourage and connect us together so that we can know what others, are growing, what they're growing. We can connect and share our resources, because our main goal is to do like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked us to do, which is grow our own food. And here we try to make that as easy as possible. Also, as you listen to this broadcast, if you have any questions that pop up in your mind, please put them in the chat and we'll address those toward the end of the show. Now, Brother Sean, I will ask Sister Melody to go ahead and get started because she had some beautiful opening questions.
Yes.
Okay, Brother Sean. So I believe some of the people in the audience, like myself and Sister Rashida, we wanted to know, because you have like such a passion in your spirit for what you do. How did you get started? How long have you been doing this, and what motivates you to do it?
Good question. If I really can't remember when I started, but some of us have goals on depending on how we're born. A person that's usually born poor, they want to be rich, and that'll be their motivating factor to get money. I wasn't. We didn't grow up rich, but we didn't grow up poor. Mm-hmm. So my motivation, but we grew up kind of unhealthy, so, but how to eat to live. I found that at 19, and since then I've been practicing that. And I reached the plateau with it. It was helping me, but it wasn't making me, I wasn't getting better anymore. So I was eating because I wasn't growing my own food. It was like, okay, you're doing all of the other aspects, but you don't control what you are eating. So I can't control what I ought to ultimately become, because you are what you eat. You
Oh,
know what I mean? So as I'm looking at that, like, hold up, I'm following the book, but I've reached that plateau. I'm not getting better. Then hey man, you're not growing this food. You really don't know what you're eating. You know what it looks, you know what it's called.
mm-hmm,
You know it's a carrot, a celery, but the plants are a product of the environment.
mm-hmm,
Plants can be stressed. They don't have a nervous system, but they can become stressed. They can be less nutrients or nutrient dense. So me knowing this, that okay, what it looks like isn't as important as what's in it. But the only way I can control what's in it is if I grow it. And that led me, that was the next stage. And I believe 2013 I got back. Yeah, I want to say 2013. That's when I really, because I had chickens and everything. Oh, I was,
So you grew up on a farm? Did you grow up in
yeah,
the
but
city?
no, I own a farm, but it's a mixture because I got both sides, between city and the country. But
mm-hmm,
the older I got, the country became more and more appealing.
yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I get it 100%. Now, Brother Sean, when you were speaking to Sister Melody and I a few days ago, you had mentioned, you said that when you're walking around and if you see a piece of wood and it's growing something in it or growing a plant or something, you know that if that plant is growing there, food can grow there. So on this show, we really try to make it easy for everyone to understand that you really can grow something. Just start one thing at a time. So can you talk to
Mhm.
us about really how easy it is to start growing for your own food?
I mean, yeah, and that's the easiest. And that's, it's hard to get across to people because a lot of people's idea of growing something is like outrageous. Like you need a farm, like you need land, all of this land
Mm-hmm.
or acreage. No, you can grow stuff out of a cup. Container gardening, like
Mm-hmm.
strawberries, you can take the rain gutters and you could take a length of rain gutters. And if you got somewhere that you can hang them up outside that can get enough sunlight, you can grow strawberries right out of that. That's enough right there. You can have a steady supply of strawberries, beautiful, bountiful supply. So, tomatoes, peppers, these things can be grown, out of cut with little space, so to speak. So you start with growing what you like to eat.
Right.
Garlic, you're going to get successful with garlic because garlic
Absolutely.
is a winner. It's a no-brainer. You just put it in the ground and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to see the sprout first and you're going to think you're doing something. You're going
Right.
to see that sprout for a while. That
Right.
you're going to be like, "Oh man, I'm growing," but you ain't nowhere near harvesting though. But you
That's
you you
right.
will get excited when
Mm-hmm.
you see that garlic, and garlic sprouts within a couple of days. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like you put that bulb in there so you can see, oh wow, it works. So that was the first thing that one of the first things we grew was garlic,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, because I learned, I'm picking it up like, oh man, it's still the bulb.
Right.
I'm
Right.
thinking it's a whole garlic. No, it's just still, it's still that one piece that I
Right.
put in there. It's just the long green leaf, the stalk part. But I was excited because I'm like, oh wow, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. So that's garlic, spinach, easy to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can pick the spinach while it's growing. Things like that. I tell people that, because I have a garden and nursery business as well. So
Mm-hmm.
when people call me and I'm like, okay, this is where we're going to start with success. These are things that if you plant this, you almost guarantee success. It's
Mm-hmm.
no, oh man, tomatoes, they're a little bit complicated if you
Right.
just
Right.
growing them from seeds. So start with these radish. Oh, you're gonna get it. It's gonna grow. And you can eat the leaves or the plant, the baby sprouts while it's growing if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Broccoli, even though it is long-winded, it's going to take a while for you to harvest it, but it's almost guaranteed
Right.
growth. So that's how I recommend people to start with what you like to eat. Don't be growing a whole bunch of stuff that you really don't eat these items. You just went to the store and that's the seeds you see,
Right. Right.
because
Yeah.
you'll get overwhelmed and it'll break your spirit. It
Yes,
can.
sir. It will. It will
Mhm.
definitely break your spirit. I learned that when I started gardening. And like you said, you get so excited when you see the sprout. And so you start dropping seeds and you want to plant everything. And then you start pulling it up and realize your carrots. I remember one year my carrots were this were this big. So absolutely.
Whew.
You have to have patience, right? You have to have
Yes.
patience with this and
Yes.
don't overwhelm yourself. And that's why we always say on this show, start with one or two things at a time,
Hmm.
perfect
Hmm.
those two things, and then you can move on to something else. But I do like the little short list you laid out of those things that are guaranteed to bring, a harvest that they can kind of, I always say, set it and forget it. Garlic is
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
thing, turmeric
Hmm.
is another
Hmm.
thing. You pretty
Hmm.
much set it and forget it.
Hmm. Hmm. And you'll
Yes,
see it'll build your will.
yes,
It'll encourage you that you can
yes,
do
sir.
it.
Yes,
You're
sir.
like, oh man, I'm that first garlic sprout, man, because I went crazy. I had great. I started growing in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
My
Wow.
epiphany came, so I had to go. And I was in a townhouse.
Right.
Man, I converted this backyard. I had at least 10 greenhouses of different sizes. I
Wow.
walk in one, shelf like one. Because I'm like, on go. I'm on
Right.
go. I'm all I know is I don't know about harvest time. Like watermelons
Right.
take 90 days, cabbage,
Right.
I'm not even thinking about okay, it's a length of time but
Yes,
before you
sir.
can think about harvesting, reaping what you sow. I'm
Right.
just on go. And it can when you in that you hit that lull and you gotta wait and you don't
Wait.
know you have to wait.
Absolutely.
That can be also a spirit breaking because you invested. You got
Right.
dirt, you got seeds, you got this equipment,
Yes,
you
sir.
bought fancy gadgets and gadgets that you might not never use. But
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And if anybody can take anything away, please just keep the excitement, but
Mhm.
also know the particular science with these plants, with your
Right.
each individual plant. So you won't lose your spirit. You won't lose you won't break yourself.
Right.
Right.
Right. We're always taught to seek knowledge. So even you have to seek knowledge, even with the whatever you're growing. You want to look and you want to find out how long is it going to take before it matures, and if you're ready to go ahead and eat that. So yeah, all of that has to be calculated. And the other thing too is you don't want to be wasteful. If it's just you and maybe your husband, you don't need to plant the whole seed pack. You just need to plant,
Oh,
a few things, because that harvest will come in and now you're struggling, especially if you haven't learned how to can like the
mm,
MGT.
mm,
If you
yes.
haven't learned how to can, then yeah, you might have a lot of wasteful products, or you'll be giving away quite a bit of food.
And you won't give it away
I
because people
know.
don't want it.
They
They
don't
don't
want
want it.
it. Yes.
Oh my god, man! My sister told I had. Oh my god! Listen, I had, I had I had so much going on, and I don't even eat this stuff now.
Right.
Like my menu plan is very basic, but you can get addicted to growing, and
You
I'm
can.
addicted. Right, so I love the plants, I love the blossoms, the flower. Okra has one of the prettiest flower. Oh my god, that
Yes,
Mhm.
okra flower, that
yes,
burgundy purple in the middle. Oh my, that is like
it
wow.
is.
So I'm growing these things just for that,
Right. Right.
Uh,
more so than me eating them. But
Eating
when
it.
it
Right.
comes time to harvest, I'm thinking, oh yeah, hey bro, come on through, man. I got you.
Right.
Oh nah, we good. We don't even. Hey sis, come. Oh nah, I'm allergic to You allergic to tomatoes, corn, onions. Well, what do you eat? Well,
Eat,
God,
right?
what's that? You allergic to everything I grow?
Right.
All right. And I couldn't get. I could.
When you
Yeah.
say that, it reminds me of I always tell Sis Melody that we used to have cattle,
Hmm.
and I remember we had to slaughter one of our cows, and I could not eat that. I could not eat it because I was so accustomed to going to the store. And
Yeah.
even we had chickens, and I was so accustomed to getting the eggs from the store. And
Hmm.
I'm looking at the eggs like, why aren't these eggs white like they are in the store? These are
Yes.
brown and purple, all these different
Yeah, yeah,
colors.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
you're
yeah,
absolutely right. Sometimes
yeah.
our people can't make that adjustment because they're so used to seeing what the enemy has provided, which is false and fake, till they don't appreciate what is real and natural. And it
Hmm.
reminds me of the Holy Quran. It says, Allah is the only reality. So everything He produces, that's reality, and not the fake stuff that's in the stores. Now,
Hmm.
I do have another question for you because I know that you are a very strong advocate, Brother Sean, for getting outside, rain or shine, and
Mm.
having fun while you're doing it. So, can you talk to us
Yes.
a little bit about being outside and growing our own food, and that whole process actually contributes to our health?
Yeah, and gardening is one of the best exercises.
Hmm.
It's high calorie burner, total body, low
Hmm.
impact,
Right?
cardio as well as resistance training. So
Hmm.
you getting flexibility, balance, posture, mobility. It's total body. The only like and as Muslims, like it's like salat.
Yes.
you
Yes.
you doing it's like you're doing the rockers because you getting down,
Moving
you
down.
getting up, you bending over, you getting up. It's like you doing the rocker. So I mean that's what I get from it. So and then you are exchanging with the earth, which is a science that we really have to get back into as a people.
Right.
Like that's a part of our DNA, that's a part of our cellular structure is
Hmm.
going outside in the sun. This is why we eat a lot of these things
Right.
because we're not going out and getting it. So the only other way out we can get it inside of our body is through a food source.
Right.
But we aren't built to eat a lot of these things, like vitamin D, like that. I don't get like the smartest we are we still fall for the banana in the tailpipe. A simple Google search will tell you vitamin D comes from the sun.
The
It's
sun.
called the sun vitamin. So
Hmm.
why are black people taking vitamin D supplements?
Hmm.
If your vitamin D is low, it's not because you have to eat it or you weren't eating it. It's because you weren't out in the sun getting enough of it.
Right.
So vitamin A. We
Hmm.
don't have to eat vitamin A. Our bodies can make vitamin A directly from the sun.
Hmm.
Vitamin A is a fat soluble antioxidant. Our bodies need it, right?
Hmm.
But these two we don't have to eat.
Hmm.
Our bodies make them directly from the sun. So when we looking at original people and we
Yes.
suffer from some of these imbalances, the the answer isn't in growing it. The answer isn't in you putting it, trying to get it out of whether you're growing it or buying it. No. So some of these food things that we can grow, they're not our foods. We
Right.
really, we got to understand, okay,
Right.
because some of these were cultivated by people that needed them, people
Hmm.
that's less from the original. The further
Hmm.
they are from the original, the more food items they need
Right.
because they can't get it from the source, which is the sun or the earth.
Hmm.
But that's
Very good
that's
point.
when we're looking at growing what to grow. Step one is growing something. Start with one.
Hmm.
Start with something you like to eat. Therefore, you're going to take care of it because you want to eat it. You know what I mean? And then we looking at, okay, am I growing what my body needs?
Mm.
We hear eat for blood type. Well, eat for your DNA. Your DNA is original people. Eat for
Hmm.
that. Like grow for that, you know.
Yes, sir. And while we're on that topic of even being outside, you said something to us that I thought was so interesting and profound. You talked about using your God power. Do you remember
Mm.
that conversation?
Yeah.
What you were
Oh yeah.
saying
Oh
about?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
to us about that?
I Holy Quran says he stood us in front of the angels and told them to submit, and everyone submitted but Iblis. The
Mm,
Bible says that God blessed them with dominion over the
mm,
fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, and over every creeping and crawling thing, with the ability to subdue the earth, replenish it, multiply it, and all of that. So when we're looking at that combination of that's what we are,
mm-hmm.
we don't have we mess it up because we want to have dominion over each other. No,
Good point.
see, no, so we fail. He don't
Mm-hmm.
listen to me. She don't listen to me. They don't listen to me. That's the moon god. See, that's how the moon got out there. No, we got dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, every. So when I'm out there, I'm not doing anything but putting stuff in motion that I can command.
Mm,
Tomato plant, you
mm-hmm.
have to do what I tell you to. Ho. First of all, you were sitting there in the seed. You weren't
Right.
doing nothing but that little old tomato seed. I put you, I said be in it because see, so I'm practicing when these pollinators come. My children will tell you, my daughter's right there. I teach them to talk to the bird, talk to them, tell them
Mm-hmm.
what to do. Salam alaikum, greet. Hey, we're not asking, we're commanding.
Mm-hmm.
I ask another human being, I ask God, I
Mm-hmm.
command everything else. What better way to practice your dominion but in your domain? With growing something, putting these things in life and watching, because there's a science called thigmotropism, and it's
Mm-hmm.
the science of touching plants, and that plant will either grow towards the touch or away from the touch.
Mm,
Hostile, cold, machinery. This makes plants grow away.
mm-hmm.
Warm, loving, godly, righteous. This makes a plant grow to you. So now I needed healing. I needed
Mm-hmm.
my heart fixed. I needed my knees fixed. I needed my back fixed. So I'm growing this food. And hey man, hey, you know how they with the dice? Papa need a brand new pipe. Hey, I need a
Mhm.
new hip tomato
Yes,
plant.
sir.
Listen to me, man.
Mhm.
When this tomato come, this is what I need.
Yes,
And
sir.
I got the minister plan. I get
Yes.
some of my videos that I made in the past around my plans, where, and it's like, because I'm producing and I'm creating an environment
Mhm.
that I'm cause and effect. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction.
Yes,
You
sir.
reap what you sow. I'm trying to practice those things as well.
Yes, sir.
Right,
And that
right.
reminds me, growing up, we've all heard our family, one of our family members talking to their plants. And
Mm-hmm,
we even laugh, but yeah, we've been doing, our culture has been doing that for years, talking to
mm-hmm,
plants,
mm-hmm,
having good music around. And I
mm-hmm.
even saw a documentary where plants actually make their own sound, make their own almost musical tones, because it's everything is a vibration. So you're absolutely right. We should vibrate back to them and talk to them and command that they do what we're asking them to do. That's a very beautiful thing. And even the bees, yeah, to summons them to come and be the pollinators that Allah designed them to be.
Hey, get over here. Man,
Absolutely.
get over here. I need you.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's get
Yeah,
it. I
remember.
don't, yeah.
Yes, sir. Now we only have five more minutes, believe it or not.
Oh
Time flew
man,
by.
this has been too much fun.
Yes, it's
Wow.
been a lot of fun. Now,
Wow.
Sister Melody, did you have anything before I move to Brother sharing some important
Yeah, I
information?
wanted to add to what he said, I met a African sister one time in the supermarket, and she was saying that she usually holds something up to her, and if it draws
Mm,
it to her, then she know it's good, and if it don't, she said
mm,
usually she put it right back. So that's like,
mm,
say, not pesticides, but preservatives and things like that.
mm,
She
Right.
said she usually, and that's with produce and stuff like that, to find out whether, but I guess you can have that kind of ability to do that if you really believe and if you have that kind of frequency. But yeah, brother, we wanted to know some things in terms of how we could support you and purchase your food, like where you at, or how, how we could reach out to you and be able to just again support you and buy some of that good produce. Like I know some people,
And your
like you said,
books.
you could grow
Hmm.
it and it's almost have to beg them to take it. But we want to
yeah.
be able to share with the audience here
Hmm.
how we can help you. Or if
Oh
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
a farmer's market on a regular basis or something.
yeah. I do. I got a house full of man. My neighbors be like, "Nah, I'm good." I don't water. I watermelon them people's out.
Yes, we saw. I
What?
saw the watermelons. We did see the watermelons.
Yeah, I watermelon them out. They like, nah, I'm good. I still got some. But
Wow.
Well,
Supreme. I mean, you can find me on Facebook, all
Hmm.
the social media platforms. Sean Ali.
Hmm.
Um, I do have my websites, Supreme. But I'm not gonna lie. I do. I got so many rods in the water that I can become overwhelmed and slip
Right.
on some of my businesses. So supremehealth.info, fitover50.org. I mean, but I'm definitely on TikTok because I love TikTok. But
Hmm.
you can hit me on Facebook as well. I got a little presence on Instagram, but not big. But TikTok and Facebook, if you need healing, health, wellness, you want to
Hmm.
grow your own food. I have seeds. Um,
That's what I was
I
going to
don't.
ask you
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah, yeah,
seeds.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
I do have seeds. I do. I do have seeds. And I teach you how to use the seeds as well.
Okay.
That's the main thing with my garden and nursery business. Is more on the educational side
Hmm.
because you really can get seeds. I hear people talk about it, but we gotta, some things some things aren't gonna be in the best condition, but once I put it into action,
Hmm.
we can't be afraid of the effect that we can have on things once we put something into action.
Yes, sir.
And
Well,
we can turn
praise.
a bad thing good, just like, yeah.
Praise be to Allah. Do we have any questions in the chat? Okay, so all right, Brother Sean, here we go. Let's go ahead and roll that first question. This is from Brother Michael Hudson. Can cherry tomatoes grow in the winter season? Very good question.
Yes, they can grow them in 45 days. I tell them grow those before you grow because the bigger the fruit, the longer
Yeah,
the time you got to harvest.
right.
So cherry tomatoes, they have those tom tomatoes. You looking at 30 to 45 days before you can harvest. So I'll tell people to start with that. If you want to start growing and you want to be successful and you don't want to wait 90 days, 75, like the Cherokees, you looking at 75 to 90 days. Hit them cherry tomatoes, 30 to 45 days you eat. If you like green tomatoes, you'll be in 30 days. Shoot.
Did
All
you want
right,
to add
excellent.
that growing them in a hoop house in some type of place where it's,
Yeah. Oh
because
yeah, yeah,
depending
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
zoning, things like
Yes.
that, you
Yeah.
won't be able to
If you're
just grow it.
inside, yeah, you're gonna have to have because you're gonna need heat to get
Right.
it to because if
Tomatoes.
anything under 70 degrees, that plant is going into survival mode. So it
Okay.
will it will grow, but you're not getting any fruit. And
Fruit,
when we're
right.
looking at tomatoes and peppers, those are warm, hot weather. So you
Mm,
looking at they want 80, 90 degree weather to be able to produce the fruit. You know, so you already going to have to hand pollinate because you're not going to have any pollinators. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, but that's not the discouraging at all. It's just okay. I just might have to do more work than in the summertime. I'm going to have to hand pollinate. If I'm going to have to either grow them inside, so I might have to chase the sunlight. Like my door, I don't have where the sun is at in the wintertime. I got to move the plants every hour.
Mm-hmm.
As the sun rotates, I gotta because I can't put them outside, so I gotta chase what's coming through my window.
Right,
But
right,
I do it. I mean, because I want to eat. You
right.
know, right, right, right.
Thank you so much for that, Brother Sean. We do have one more question. Is it? We're going to try to answer this one really quick because we're right at
Okay.
time. This is from
Yeah.
Let's Hope. I feel that love is a force of nature as seen in the blessing of the plants. Very good point,
Yes.
brother.
Yes, it is. You reap what you sow. Go ahead and
Absolutely.
grow some love, reap some
Right.
love.
Right. And like you always say in your videos, take dominion over your domain.
Take dominion over your domain. Let's get
Yes,
it. All
sir. So
praises
thank
due
you
to Allah.
so much, Brother Sean. It has been a pleasure
Yes.
having you on the podcast, and I really hope that you return, sir. You're just full of so much information and so much knowledge that our audience can really benefit from. So now, if you all need to reach out to us, you can do so by reaching us on Facebook at or Gmail scienceoffarming19@gmail.com. Please send your questions in there, whether it's for us here, Sister Melody and I, whether it's for Brother Sean or any of our other guests. We would love to hear from you, and we will answer your questions on the show. Thank you all so much for participating, Brother Sean. It's been a pleasure, Sister Melody. Always a pleasure, my beautiful queen. Thank you all so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Alaikum salam.